Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakahagwadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And this so-called great city, which is spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt, is speaking of the United States of America, which in the scriptures is also known as Babylon the Great, that virgin daughter of Babylon, Mystery Babylon. And the reason the United States of America is known as spiritual Sodom is because this is the #1 nation that pushes the alphabet lifestyle, beginning with LG, onto the rest of the planet through its policies and especially through its media, Hollywood, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, these other social media platforms, etc., etc. And just like how ancient Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed with fire and brimstone from the sky for committing these abominable acts that the United States of America is committing, hey, this modern day Sodom and Gomorrah is going to be destroyed by modern fire and brimstone. 200 million nuclear missiles, which is going to turn this place into the biblical lake of fire from sea to shining sea, and then a desolate, uninhabitable wasteland afterwards. And in this video, I'm just going to go into a few clips and information to clearly show that this place is indeed spiritual Sodom and Egypt. And the reason the United States of America is also known as spiritual Egypt is because it's serving in the same function that ancient Egypt served for the children of Israel, who are known today as the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as a place of hardcore bondage and slavery. And also, this spiritual Egypt has a lot of the same symbolisms and practices that ancient Egypt had. Just look at the back of your $1 bill with the pyramid with the all-seeing eye. The Washington Monument is an obelisk. You've got places like Memphis, Tennessee, which Memphis was the name of a place in ancient Egypt. And there's also a pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee. And then you've also got another pyramid in Las Vegas. I think you've even got that one place, what is it? Pretty much it's a recreation of the Sphinx over there. And then you've got that idol, or that award that actors and actresses win in Hollywood, which goes back to an ancient Egyptian god. I believe his name was Ptah. Bread and beer were big in ancient Egypt like they're big in the United States of America. The list goes on. And those dead bodies lying in the street of this so-called great city are the spiritually dead bodies of the children of Israel, because the majority of our people in this country, the 2/3, are rebellious and hard-headed and don't want to acknowledge the fact that they are Israelites, even if they've heard the word before. They want to be everything else under the sun but the children of Israel. They want to continue to be so-called African American, Black, Mexican, Latino, Hispanic, Cherokee, Choctaw, Catholic, Buddhist, Muslim, atheist, and even be a part of this alphabet lifestyle beginning with LG. And they're also going to get burned up in that nuclear fire along with everybody else in the United States of America that isn't of the elect of the nation of Israel. But let's just get into this information to clearly show that this place is indeed that spiritual Sodom. This is a YouTube clip from the page The Quartering, and it's only about 30 seconds or so, but just watch the information. And this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It's simply for educational purposes.
I definitely subscribe to the idea that people are born the way they are and I want them to live their best life, but this is getting ridiculous. 1 in 5 in Gen Z being LGBTQ, it's just not true. Maybe it has something to do with all the clout attached to it on TikTok. Leave a like and subscribe and I'll keep exposing these weirdos.
Gen Z's the gayest generation, at least according to the numbers. The percentage of US adults that identify as not straight has risen to 7.1% this year. That's double from 2012.
Yeah, if you look at this data table, you can see the generational differences between LGBTQ plus identifying populations, and oh my god, we're so gay.
21%, 1 in 5 Gen Z Americans, excluding minors, identify as LGBTQ+. When you put together the fact that we're heading towards a future where roughly 1 in 5 people are LGBTQ+ identifying, then the current onslaught of hundreds of legislative attacks coursing through the US starts to make a little bit of sense. The people in power are scrambling because the gay agenda is finally here.
James According,
And if that truly is the case, I wouldn't be surprised. But hey, this is just an example to show that this place is indeed spiritual Sodom. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is the #1 country that heavily pushes that lifestyle, not only on its own citizens, but onto the rest of the planet. You can't turn pretty much anywhere at this point without seeing something dealing with the alphabet lifestyle beginning with LG. Now I'm gonna go to my second clip, which is on Mark Dice's YouTube channel, and it's titled, "This is a 6-year-old girl." And again, fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes.
Now the drag queens aren't just happy with reading books to small children about changing their gender. The drag queens themselves are identifying as children.
My name is Yuhua, my pronouns are she and her, and I've been with Drag Story Hour for 4 years now. Whoa! My drag character is flirty, beautiful, glam, and funny. Kids always ask me, what is your age? And that is my favorite question because I get to tell them that my age is the same as them. My favorite part of Drag Story Hour is getting to read to the kids because I wanted to become a teacher when I was younger and I get to do it now, except with the wig on. Come to the next Drag Story Hour because it can get educational, fun, and entertaining.
Of course, this isn't the...
This is that wine in Jeremiah chapter 51 that Babylon has used to make the nations drunk. Hey, these different philosophies that the United States pushes onto these different nations and just completely bugs them out. And again, one of the heaviest ones is that alphabet lifestyle beginning with LG, and they're heavily coming after the children. You've got that story time thing where they got drag queens going to read to children. They're bringing children to drag shows. And I used this in a previous video a couple of months ago. They got a book out now called the Gay BCs, where with each letter of the alphabet, it relates back to one aspect of the alphabet lifestyle to get children open to it and polluting their minds and what's that word? Propagandizing them to see that lifestyle as normal and maybe think, hey, maybe I am a part of that lifestyle and that's something I should pursue. Be my live my best life, so to speak. Well, hey, for living your best life, you're going to get your best death by those nuclear missiles.
First person who identifies as trans age. Many of you may have seen this 6-year-old girl.
Why, hello.
It's even better.
Welcome to Stephanie's Playtime. I hope my little sockets have been good. We have an adventure for you. Come on in and see what we found.
In my mind, I'm a girl. I was never allowed to be a little girl. So I'm filling that tank of little girl experiences.
You've probably noticed there's a lot of people worried about their safety because I identify as a 6-year-old. Well, guess.
And if this place was allowed to go on for a long enough time, they'd legalize pedophilia, which is what they're already trying to do, make it seem like just another sexual preference. So now you got a what? A grown-ass Edomite man who identifies as a 6-year-old girl. So naturally, if he identifies as a 6-year-old girl, what would he want to do? Go play with other 6-year-old children. But they wouldn't just be playing Twister or Patty Cake, if you get what I'm saying.
What? It doesn't matter.
Now, you might think that this carbon-based life form that identifies as a 6-year-old girl is just trolling, but they're not.
Melanie, it's Stephanie. Will you wake up for our friends and practice your piano? Hi, Stephanie. I love playing piano. Thank you.
And according to liberalism today, we're supposed to respect a person's pronouns and their individual unique identity. So you've made your bed, liberals, now lie in it. This is a 6-year-old girl, and this is a 9-year-old boy, another trans age person whose identity must be respected, who was arrested for assaulting 2 young girls,
Exactly.
ages 6 and 8. This is the kind of person who insists on reading young children books at Drag Queen Story Hour at the local library. Like the Houston Public Library, which admitted that a registered child sex offender was one of the drag queens who read the books to the children at their drag queen story time. Surprisingly, there is at least one drag queen on planet Earth who has spoken out against this practice,
around a
who
bit.
goes by the name Kitty Demure.
What in the hell has a drag queen ever done to make you have so much respect?
Gonna lose.
Slovakia.
There's always something to celebrate.
His lawsuit to back out of the deal, which would have cost him $1 billion penalty fee. But the assault on our culture is non-stop. The Marxists are moving on all fronts. The new Scooby-Doo movie, Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo, depicts Velma as being a lesbian.
And as promised, here are your Scooby snacks.
And there was a lot of backlash to this, so they had to change it to where Velma was actually had a crush on Fred. But you see exactly what I see.
Jinkies.
And it looks like the new purple M&M is transgender or some kind of LGBTQ character. The candy company said that she is proud to be herself, which of course is code for queer. And you may recall that last year, the Twix Candy Company, which actually is owned by the same parent company as M&M's, put out that commercial depicting a boy wearing
Go
a dress.
girl,
The
right?
more cultural Marxist propaganda the liberal media industrial complex puts out, the louder it has to
See with this. Now my last bit of information. This is a movie that just released called Bros. And you can see the poster for it right there. 2 men with commitment problems attempt a relationship. And hey, this movie flopped miserably at the box office. And hey, the United States of America, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, as well as Babylon the Great, is going to flop as a whole when those 200 million nuclear missiles hit this place and wipe this filth from off the face of the earth. Now let's get back to these precepts. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 19. And Babylon, the virgin daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great, the United States of America. And when we go into Babylon in the Strongs, it's H894, Babel. And in the outline of biblical usage, it says Babel or Babylon, confusion by mixing. And we can clearly see that the United States of America is the most confused place on the face of the earth. You got men identifying as 6-year-old girls, as 9-year-old boys, women wanting to be men, men wanting to be women, people identifying as animals, people getting married to trees or bridges. The list goes on and on. This clearly is that Babylon spoken of in the scriptures. And this place has also mixed all the different religions of the ancient nations all together in a blender and pushes it out to you people in new updated ways daily. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And again, Sodom and Gomorrah was overthrown with fire and brimstone from the sky. And this modern day spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah is going to be overthrown by that modern fire and brimstone, those nuclear missiles. And when this place is turned into the biblical lake of fire from sea to shining sea, and then a desolate, uninhabitable wasteland afterwards, man, woman, or child will never set foot on this place ever again, as it's about to say. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. And after a time, only desert creatures are going to dwell here. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. And owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come. Her days shall not be prolonged. And when we see information like what I just showed in this video, we can clearly see that the time of Babylon's end is near to come, and her days are no longer being prolonged. And when everything's said and done, the former United States of America is going to stand as an eternal memorial as to what a wicked kingdom looked like, how not to govern the earth, and ultimately what the judgment and punishment was for afflicting the apple of the Most High's eye, the children of Israel, who are again known as you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of these Edomites or so-called white people, mainly from the United States of America. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.